Swords of Legends Online launches on the 9th, and with its impending release coming so soon, I wanted to look at the game, what Gameforge is offering, and talk a little bit about whether or not this game actually has legs, or will it, like a lot of recent games, die out as quickly as it comes out. Now, I expect this video to be a little bit controversial. I want this game to succeed, and if you're watching this video, I bet you do too. But I'm not going to lie to you. Honesty is the best policy when it comes to this type of thing. So, with that little bit of a disclaimer, please don't forget to drop a like and subscribe for more Swords of Legends Online content. It really helps my channel out a ton. Thank you very much in advance, and let's get started. So first of all, let's talk payment model. It's $40 US in a one-time buy-to-play fee. There's a cash shop, but it's light and totally in its current form, it's not pay to win. That could always change in the future, but Gameforge is doing great here currently. No issues with me. You like to see it and hope it stays this way. The game is also on Steam, which will help visibility and sales in the future. It's always smart to be on the largest PC game storefront, and Gameforge obviously did good here. It's not like it's going to be here 2 years later after the game is mostly dead, but it'll be here when it launches and it's still relevant. Next, let's talk content. And though it's not perfect and we still haven't seen a finished product, what we have seen has immense potential. I've seen a lot of people compare the game's story to Final Fantasy XIV's, and although I don't totally agree with that, the voice acting does need a ton of work. They were working on that, and if they do finish the voice acting and subtitles for launch, that'll put it very close, though still not quite there for me. Swords simply doesn't have the name recognition as a Final Fantasy, and although recent versions of Final Fantasy have divided the fan base, it's still got a ton of clout. Swords has none of that, though there's a ton of leeway to grow that clout in the future, clearly. Combat and classes are both in a great state. There's enough class diversity to have a reason to want to level multiple characters, though the classes do use the Holy Trinity, which is a little bit tired, but the combat makes up for it by being an interesting mix of action combat and tab targeting. It's literally both at the same time, and you can swap between them by hitting the control button. Movement is one of the strongest things in this game, as double jump, triple jump, and just sprinting around feels so amazing. And it's really nice to have something that is just so simple and forgotten feel as good as it does. Leveling is exactly what you'd expect though, and I don't mean that in an uninspired way. It's interesting enough to grab your attention, it just lacks total staying power. Though some of it was due to the lack of complete English voiceovers. Quests themselves, though, are great enough to not bore the player, and the dungeons are quick, well-designed, and art-wise are pretty gorgeous. Actually, everything about this game is gorgeous in its art. It's one of the most beautiful games I've played, personally. Unlike a game like, say, Elion, gearing works very well and has no RNG. The user interface, though, is a total mess, and it has very annoying elements that constantly pop up well after you've hit their X button to get them to go away. Not everything can be moved as part of their UI customization either, which is a bit weird. PvP is both good and bad. There are many types of battlegrounds, though they're only available at certain times each day. I get that it's set that way to funnel a smaller player base into certain activities to shorten queues, but it's also forcing someone who might not like that specific instance to do that and only that if it's all the PvP that's available. The flagging system for open world PvP is a little worrisome as well, as there's a karma system that sees you basically go to jail if you kill too many players within a certain amount of time. I get why it's in place, but it feels like it will stifle open world PvP as much as it'll help it. Though I don't feel PvP is the real focus for Swords. This, like Final Fantasy XIV, is a PvE and story MMO first, and PvP feels secondary. That's fine, but it's something to think about if you want to focus on PvP, as this won't have the content of Elion or New World when they come out later this year. But if you do want a PvE-focused MMO that's gorgeous with great combat and lots of story, Swords of Legends Online should have you covered there. This doesn't have the overall amount of content of some of the other older MMOs, but it should easily keep you interested for a few months or maybe even more. which for 40 bucks is a pretty big steal. So that's it for this video. Are you excited for Swords of Legends Online? If you are, don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe for more Swords of Legends Online content. It helps me out a ton. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have yourself an outstanding day.